Hello everyone, welcome back to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. So I haven't been able to put up the videos for August for each and every sign, so I decided to do this wrap up of August for everyone. So I'm going to go for each and every sign, just pull out 2 cards and the underlying energy, and we're going to find each sign time stamped. Alright, so I'm going to start the readings. So I'm going to start with Aries. Let's see what's going on for you, Aries. How was this month of August for you? Leo energy, fellow fire sign. Judgment, okay. And one more card for my dear Aries to wrap up this month, hopefully giving you some insight. In hindsight, okay, apparently you asked for 2 cards. And bottom of the deck, the underlying energy, the world. Beautiful, beautiful. So 21 and 22, look at this. I think this month was quite big for you, my dear Aries. Seems that with the judgment here, you might have been challenged to the point of you had to really look at your wound, your deepest wound, and maybe you've had been triggered pretty seriously by either random events in your life or people in your life, or situations of sorts that would bring you to the memory of when you've been deeply hurt in the past or things like this. And you had to stand up for yourself. You had to really work with this. I believe that with judgment here, though, you were able, or you had been asked to access within yourself the capacity to forgive. And it's very important to understand, hopefully, that forgiveness is not to condone the actions of those that hurt us, but it is about not allowing those actions to constantly keep hurting me. So when I'm forgiving someone, I'm not letting them off the hook. I'm freeing myself from the damage that they've created. So forgiveness practice may be necessary for you right now. They might be the way out into the next level, into the next chapter of your life, because you have the world here and you have the 7 of Pentacles, you have the 9 of Wands. I think that you've, as I said, like you've been really triggered right at the core, but it's really important to understand that, okay, whatever defense mechanisms you've been using in the past may not necessarily work now, or even if they work, maybe the part is not to just keep employing defense mechanisms to not feel, but to go deep down in the core and heal the original wound, to tend to that wound, to nurture, to really bring deeper healing. And this is like a 9 in the Wands suit, so you're really close to closing a circle, a spiritual circle, just a little bit closer. With the 7 of Pentacles here, I think it's really important for you to look at how you're spending your time and energy. We are entering the Virgo season. This is the harvest season. Look at how you're spending your time, who you're spending your time with, where you're putting your money, what is it that you eat, this kind of stuff, you know, like how are you using the 3D reality, the practical energy out there and within yourself. And are you spending all your energy to just defend yourself? Like, are you going out into the world from a defensive position, or are you actually going into the world with a bit more, with some openness, you know? With the 7 of Pentacles, the important part is that, okay, it's that part of the year where you need to sort out what is that you need to you can eat now, what fruits of the labor can you actually enjoy, and what are the ones that you can replant for the next harvest, you know. It's okay, so what am I getting from here? I've planted this energy, I've planted these seeds, I'm using the energy in this way. What am I getting out of this? Is it what I want? What can be readjusted? It's assessment. And judgment, it's also assessment. You have two cards of assessment here. It's assessing at the soul level with judgment. Okay, where am I at in my journey? Am I ready to make this jump to the next step? To the next... I know it sounds like a computer game, but it's the next level, you know? It's the next spiritual chapter. It's the next healing journey. But that means that you're done with a section, you're done with a part, you've done the healing to this part of you that had been challenged this month, apparently. So take your time with your assessment. I believe that you are more than ready to move on to the next chapter, though. I think that forgiveness practice is the key right now for you to move on to the next chapter. So yeah, I'm gonna pull out really quickly a oracle card, the courage of your love. Well, there you go, the courage of your love. Have courage, my dear, to forgive, because again, it's not about condoning the actions of those that wronged you. It's about freeing yourself from that. I'm gonna read the poem from Rumi, and it says, love is without reason, rationality is like a cane, judgment needs a cane because it's blind. When love arrives, thought dies in its shadow. Love is the sunrise, while thought is only a flashing light. Rumi. That's a beautiful poem. Let's see if there's any guidance. Okay, so this oracle comes with particular guidance for you. You are not to give in to less than you are worth, or to the shaming stories of others, of our culture, that would cast you, your regal lion nature, into the falsehood of beliefs that you have no choice or power. You are not to give in to the idea that you are a victim and cannot free yourself from your suffering, or that you are less than any other. These are lies. These are petty deceptions so unworthy of you. Do not believe them. The intent that those bits and pieces of decay are lovingly returned to the Mother Earth, through whom they can be used to fertilize new life. You have a challenge before you, or that you are now moving through, but you have what is necessary to succeed and overcome it. No matter how long has it endured, or how big you have built that challenge up to be in your mind, no matter how unsolvable the issue appears to be, there is and shall be a victory beyond it, and it is imminent. See, like, you're so close, my love. This oracle has come to you to let you know that you are empowered to succeed. You have what is required within to do it, and that the time for your victory is drawing near. Beautiful. All right, Aries. Well, this is the message for you. I hope this helps you somehow wrap up the month of August. And I'll see you here soon. Hello, Taurus. All right, what do we have for Taurus? We have the Three of Cups. Second card. One more card for Taurus. You have the Queen of Swords. And you have the Three of Swords. Okay, so this is the energy for you, my dear, for the month of August. We're wrapping it up. Okay, it's a matter of resolution, and it's very interesting because you have these two threes here. The Three of Swords is like the underlying energy of the month, like kind of what's been going on in the background for the whole month for you. And I think that you've been going through this emotional, it's actually processing at mind level of past hurts and emotions. But it's when you look back and you realize that, okay, I've learned this from this experience. I've now understood why I had to go through that. And now, you know, you can look at the big picture and take the lessons. Take note of what worked and what didn't work, and what are the lessons that you could conjure from your experience. And you know, it's like it creates a bigger picture for you. It's a resolution of sorts, and it comes in the level of insight, because this is mind energy. But I also have the Three of Cups here, so you've been having probably a similar process at an emotional level. The nice part with the Three of Cups is that it comes with joy, you know, because it's like, you know, the three in general talks about two things coming together to create something bigger than the sum of their parts. So that's really good. It's really, really good. And with the Queen of Swords here, I think you've got a lot of insight. And because you've been able to process emotions and to process your thought process around your emotions, to understand how you're giving meaning to what emotions and how does that influences your emotion further, and so on. With the Queen of Swords, I think you're getting like a lot of clarity here. A lot of clarity around what's going on within you, what do you need in terms of where are your boundaries, how to communicate them, and that's not to manipulate. That's in order for you to be properly functional, you know, have your emotional needs met, and also understand how to communicate them without necessarily going to those moments of overload before the overload happens. Okay, let's see what is the message from the Rumi Oracle. You who showed the way. Well, look at that. Look at that, Taurus. And yet another 3-3-3-3. It's incredible. It's really a month of an amazing resolution for you. I hope that this end of August, as we're going into September, you're really reaping the results, and you can see how these experiences and processes had helped you grow. Okay, let's read the poem from Rumi from this 33. You who showed the way. It's also a number of creativity, number 3, by the way. So you may be able to express yourself with a lot more creativity right now, both your ideas and also your emotions. So the poem from Rumi says, the logical mind runs away from drowning. Lovers accept drowning in the sea as their destiny. The logical mind finds consolation in reaching a level of comfort in life. Lovers are focused beyond their own comfort. Rumi. Okay. Yeah, I think it makes sense in the sense that you understand how like the logical mind just try to protect ourselves, but it ends up creating more pain sometimes. And it's not about like avoiding suffering. What we assign as suffering is not really that painful, because when we actually open ourselves to love, we have the endurance and the capacity to grow a softer, bigger heart. And even though the mind believes that we're gonna drown, we end up actually loving more, growing more, and understanding more. I'm gonna check out what's the guidance here. So this oracle brings the message that if you have a situation in your midst that feels impossible to resolve, the divine has it covered. Have faith and hope, and know that this is a sensible approach to any dilemma, no matter how serious it may seem. For what use it is to bemoan the absence of day, even on the longest night, when you know in every moment dawn is ever closer to breaking once again. your hope, then is not foolish but wise. Okay, so whatever it is that you're working with right now, be present with it, and the divine has it covered. Nothing is impossible. Have faith and hope. All right, my dear Taurus. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you here soon. Now, let's go to Gemini. Let's see what's going on with Gemini. What's been happening in this month of yours? Okay, so you have the Six of Swords and the Hermit. And bottom of the deck, you have the Knight of Swords, which is the Gemini card, by the way. Okay, Gemini. So the Knight of Swords is your underlying energy for this month. Tells me that you've been working with your communication skills, and you've been trying to expand your mind beyond what you thought things should be. Like trying to really expand your perspective at mind level of how things work, how things should work. Anything that you may have fixed ideas around, there may be a growth in that direction, giving you space for different perspectives. So the Knights generally are an energy of expansion. The Knight of Swords does bring the themes around communication and about searching for truth, but it's very important to also understand that even though truth is very important and communication of truth is very desired and useful, it matters how we communicate as well, because if we're just trying to get our point across with no diplomacy, then we're not getting our point across. We are just triggering people, and they go back into their defense little, they just go into defense, and you're not going to communicate what you need to be communicated. They won't hear it. So diplomacy is important as well in order to not trigger people. Anyhow, there's a lot of growth here. There's a lot of growth. Your mind is getting expanded, and I think that you've been the Six of Swords here. I think you're really moving on from a fixed way of thinking and from a conflict, an internal conflict, I would say, but could be also a conflict in the outside world with other people. Maybe you're surrendering in a sense. Like maybe you realize that it's not worth it to stay in that type of dynamics, whatever dynamics that might have been, of back and forth, of putting each other down, or if it's a matter of the inner conflict, you manage to find some type of resolution and to move away from a way of thinking that was detrimental to you. It could also signify maybe a trip over water here. Maybe you've been traveling, and you've managed to take something from that experience again in order to give you a different perspective. Sometimes when we just go and travel and put ourselves in a different situation with different people, actually in a solitude from what I see here. Maybe you've been spending a lot of time alone in solitude and investigating maybe whatever it is that was happening at your mind level. It allows for this expansion to happen and for you to move on from a certain place. So whether it was travel or not, you're obviously wrapping up a month of great expansion of your mind. And yes, it doesn't mean that all problems are being solved, but it gives you a fresh new perspective. And it gives you hope. All right, let's see what is a message from the Rumi Oracle for you, dear Gemini. A new gown. Oh, that's a beautiful one. It's definitely like it's changing. the way you relate to yourself, I would say, how you view yourself and your relationship with, this is number 18, so 9, and this is also 9, the Hermit. 9. No, 18, sorry. Where are you? Alright, I'm going to read the poem from Rumi, and you'll make your own judgment. Weary and consumed by longing, I was caressed by my beloved last night. My wounded soul was set free when I tasted the sweetness of love. My spirit was lifted at once. I surrendered my life. So my spirit was lifted at once. I surrendered my life while overflowing with joy, and my vision was filled with light. Love said, "Don't feel so hopeless, my weary and gloomy one, for my generosity is beyond forgetting those devoted to me. See how boundless divine justice can be. Behold my immeasurable kindness." Love embraced my spirit, and all my doubt vanished at once. A new and glorious robe of honor was placed on my shoulders. Love offered me the power of new vision and the transforming touch of divine generosity, and placed the chalice of eternal wine in my hand. This is the power of a new vision. This is a very dynamic energy, and that vision sets you free to move on from a place of conflict and pain. Beautiful. Let's see, what is the guidance for you, my dear? So this oracle comes with sacred guidance for you. You are stepping into empowerment in a new way, and it is to be honored. Do not allow yourself to be dragged into dramas or power games. You are worth so much more than that. You are tapping into your inner dignity, and others may not know how to respond. Some will respond with love and acknowledgement, others with fear and judgment, calling you too big for your boots or high and mighty. Those are voices of fear, not truth. Be in your dignity and power and keep going. It is the divine that urges you thus, not the ego. Do not doubt the changes happening within you now. Embrace them. There is a great change going on in here, Gemini. I think that whatever you've experienced this month was very, very healthy for you. And it may not have felt fantastic with, because in order to move on in this way, we need to experience some pain. But I think that these changes are happening and they're beautiful. So have a good transition into the fall, my dear, and I'll see you here soon. Hello, Cancer. Seems that you have a card flying already with number 3, 3 of Pentacles. And one more card for you, my dear. Let's see what's been going on for you in this season. Page of Pentacles. And bottom of the deck, you have the World. So Cancer, you may have met new people from different school of lives, different school of thoughts or walks of life, I want to say, and you may be exchanging some of these experiences with people, and this is very useful for you. It can be very useful in a very practical way by exchanging life experiences and ideas and thoughts and things like this can help you grow your own experience. And also by sharing your own experience from who you are, from your own unique perspective, can be very helpful for them, and that can help you work together with different people. It can be very much on a work level, so maybe you just found a new job, or you started meeting with new people, that then you start creating new projects together. The Page of Pentacles, I think that there's like some type of growth happening. There's an opportunity here to be grasped, and you're probably seeing it right now. It's still the beginning of it though. You're just laying down the plans and the foundation. Be open to feedback, be open to changes, be open to adjustments to be made. But there's definitely a great possibility coming out from this collaboration with these people. Having the world here as the underlying energy, I think this opens up like a portal, like a new door for you, that helps you change something pretty drastically in your life. Maybe the way you've lived up until now served you up until now, and now this new project, this new work environment, or these people that come up with new perspectives are truly shifting something for you, and they're opening the door to the new chapter in your life, right? It's a matter of whether you want to take that or not. The door is open. Will you will you go through? Okay, let's see what is the Oracle card for you. What's the message for my dear Cancer? Blood Angel, number 7. Somebody else had this. I think it was Aries. Number 7. Or maybe not. I don't remember. Okay, so the poem from Rumi says, "In the midst of darkness, a moon appeared with its brilliance. Stepping down from the clouds, it glanced at me. Like a falcon that hunts a bird and steals it away, it captured me and flew back to the infinite space. As I looked for myself, I could not find me, for my body had become all soul in the tenderness of love. The 9 spheres of heaven dissolved in that moon, and the ship of my existence drowned in the sea of love." Yes. There seems to be quite a transition here. Okay, I'm gonna check out what's the guidance. I was trying to make out more, but let's just see the interpretation. So, this oracle comes with a particular blessing of well-being and vitality. You have perhaps become tired or are well but seek to engage in new projects or practices that will stretch or challenge you. The Blood Angel brings you the blessing of whatever energy is required to expand into where life is leading you. This new gate of opportunity. What the divine has instilled within your heart shall be financed with life force and energy, so it may be brought to fulfillment. This is the sacred contract of human life. The journey shall be taken by the soul, and there will be challenges, and yet what is required for divine fulfillment will always be available. If you've been struggling with your energy levels or with your psychological challenges, take extra care of yourself right now. Maybe do some type of protection rituals, take care of your energy, things like that. All right, my dear Cancer, this is lovely. I hope that this helps you wrap up and give you some type of insight into the end of this month. Wish you a smooth transition to the harvest season. I'll see you here soon. Hello, Leo. 4 of Swords. So first of all, happy birthday. I skipped the Leo season. I'm truly sorry. Temperance. But, wow. Now I'm going to take this one too. I just saw it and it is your card. So Leo. We're wrapping up the month of August for you, which was pretty much a season. We already moved into Virgo season. But it seems that this month had been challenging in ways, right? You had to go beyond some ways of identification, how you identified yourself with certain things in your life, of how you things that you like or dislike about yourself, or how you think about things should be. The Ten of Swords is the end of a cycle of the mind, and it's a small death of the ego. So that means that your ego had to be challenged in ways, and it may have felt like backstabbing, it may have felt like betrayal, it may have felt triggered, really, really triggered, in ways that obviously nobody wants to be triggered. But here, see, like this is the end of that chapter of the mind, and then the dawn is coming and it's taking this darkness away, and here's the sun coming right with this card here, right? So I think that there was some type of almost like a rebirth, it feels, happened for you this month, for your birthday season. Maybe you by allowing these defense mechanisms to go away, you've discovered this beautiful vitality and inner child within yourself, and allow it as a way for expression. With the Four of Swords and the Temperance, Four of Swords talks about, like, you know, having a structure of your mind and having like some type of peace of mind, and it's a moment of break and reflection in order to sort out your thoughts. And with Temperance, it talks about finding balance, especially in your emotional world, and finding that you know, Temperance is the alchemist, finding ways to transform your emotional experience into a learning process. And I think that this is happening now for you at the end of the month. I think you're finally seeing how this sun is rising up, and how you can work both with your mind and with your emotions in a way that is honoring you, honoring your experience, honoring your inner child, and knowing how to protect yourself, how to keep yourself safe without having to be overly forceful, or without having to go to the point of overwhelm. You know, Temperance talks about being almost like a scientist, taking a step back and see how each and every action that you take or reaction affects the situation, and giving you space to adjust, and feeling into your emotional experience, and also always being connected to your heart space, connected to the passionate fire within your heart, which will always come from this inner child. Okay, let's see what's the oracle message for you. It's beautiful. It's beautiful work. Beautiful work, Leo. Okay, so you have the number 32. She offers the sacred wine, so drink. So drink, so imperative with an exclamation point. Number 32, that's a 5. So there had definitely been challenges for sure. Okay, my dear. So the poem from Rumi says, O wine giver of enlightened hearts, offer me the wine of your kindness, for this is the reason you have brought me here from the desert of oblivion. O beautiful wine giver, pour me the wine that gives me insight. Offer me the wine from the sea of love, and fill my heart with pearls. Pour into my heart until I shred the veil or go beyond reason. This is the Ten of Swords, is going beyond some type of reason or reasoning. My spirit is consumed by judgment, and my life is reduced by thoughts. Pour that precious wine over the frozen cries of skeptics until their words become warm and their nays become yes or yays. All right, so seems that you're being offered a gift is beyond your understanding. Wait. Let's just see what the guidance is. It's hard to summarize all this. This oracle comes with guidance for you. Are you having fun yet? Well, you may need to wash your hair and tend your accounts. That is fine. No matter what other people think that you should be doing and other people are doing, you're not necessarily supposed to be doing that. You can find some time in between the endless to-dos of your to-do list to throw a tantrum and come dancing with me instead. Your honor and commitment, discipline and focus are certainly to be rewarded with some inhibited nonsense, hopefully. Come put aside that seriousness for a moment or more and allow the wild child in you to take your body and soul for a spin. Together, let's go and paint the town the color of love. So, my dear Leo, I hope that you've actually got to this point where you allow yourself to have some fun. You may have done a lot of work, you may have had a lot of challenges, but allow now to connect to that inner child and really get playful here. All right, Leo, I hope that this helps you, gives you some type of insight into your experience this month, and I'll see you here soon. Hello, Virgo. So what do we have for you for August in hindsight, right? So you have the Two of Cups, the Chariot, and bottom of the deck you have the Two of Pentacles. Two twos, very interesting. Okay, so you might have been struggling with some type of duality, maybe having to sort out your way, like how to work with your emotions, how to keep yourself functional when there were more than two balls in the air, when maybe you had to juggle a little bit to keep some type of balance, and it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy this month for you in this way. Maybe you felt like your emotions are requiring a lot of space, but that you couldn't have given that space because it would throw you off course, off balance, and there were practical things in your life to attend, like, I don't know, going to work or paying the bills or things like this, and you couldn't afford the space for you to process your emotions. I think you've done quite well though with keeping that balance, and that you had tapped into a pretty deep level of like to really feel your resilience and to understand that there's a lot of flexibility within you that maybe you weren't even aware of. With the Two of Cups and the Chariot here, I think that you've been managing to really have an inner duality being resolved. Some parts of yourself that maybe had been in conflict, maybe this like practical versus emotions. How do I come out into the world and how do I feel inside of myself? Is my job aligned with my values, or the other way around? How can I put more of myself into my work? This type of like two different aspects of yourself that were at odds with each other, first of all got to know each other and got to see how separate they are and how different they are, and you've managed to balance them up and you've managed to bring them together to a deeper resolution where they're actually working together. You see the Chariot, it's moving forward. The Chariot is about like having the two sides, both the black and the white things working together in order to keep the direction forward, because if it was just one or the other, it would just go in circles. So I think you've been, as I said, you've been balancing out emotions, you've been balancing out the life versus pleasure, or things like this. It hasn't been easy, but you've done it, love. You've really done it. So now you're moving forward with the Chariot into the Virgo season, into the harvest, with a lot of determination and clarity. So that's really beautiful, Virgo. Now let's see what's the message for you now. Sacred convergence. See, this is 11, this is 2 and 2. There's like, it may also be that you've come into meeting also other people, because the Two of Cups can talk about outside relationships as well. So as you bring inner balance and you bring like align certain aspects of yourself, you can align better with people outside of yourself. So this could be a romantic partner that you've connected with and you feel really like something's growing out of this, or it could be friendships or coming into your soul tribe and really getting a feeling of connection, a beautiful feeling of connection. Okay, so this is number 11. Let's see what is the poem from Rumi. It says, these cards are beautiful. Roaming about town, the master was holding a light, saying, I'm wary of the demons and beasts. The human is what I'm longing for. The human cannot be found, we have searched. What cannot be found, I am longing for. Although poor and needy, I will not accept small pieces of ruby. The mine of the finest rubies is what I'm longing for. One hand holding a cup of wine, and the other the curls of my beloved. A dance like this in the middle of the circle is what I am longing for. Rumi. Wow. That is beautiful. It talks about not settling for little pieces of ruby. But let's see what the guidance is for you. This oracle comes with a special message. Perhaps you have been thinking about shedding lower vibrational connections based in the ego, world of power games, sabotage, manipulation, and fear. Perhaps you have already begun this process or even shed so many you are fearing you may have over-pruned to be left with nothing and no one. Do not fear. Your truth is prevailing. You cannot stay in a vibration of fear if you want to dwell in a vibration of love. Whilst you learn to sustain that vibration within you until it cannot be rattled by any crisis or demand, you are wise to place yourself in more nourishing connections. If you want the plant to grow, why not give it the best soil and conditions in which to do so? This oracle comes to you with guidance that the possibility for more joyful relationships and growth of love within is in your power. No. Yes. Okay, so this oracle comes to you with guidance that the possibility for more joyful relationships and growth of love within is in your power. You can choose each day, each moment. Just make a choice. Trust yourself, your discernment and your intuition, and choose. You do not owe anyone anything. Repeat this law of karma. You only owe love the chance to grow. So let that be your guiding principle now as you release the old, and trust that even if your garden of relationship becomes sparse for a while, you have been cutting back unhealthy plants to allow for a new life to flourish. It is only a matter of timing for the season of new life and growth to come again. And so it shall, bringing with it sacred convergence of soul on the path of love, your soul tribe, your family, your new tribe of those journeying upon the path of love. Well, look at that. Beautiful. So believe that you can have more loving connections, and don't be scared to put yourself out there in that way, and definitely don't be scared to cut the connections that come from power games and they're not nourishing to you. All right. Thank you for being here, Virgo. Have a smooth transition to fall, and I'll see you here soon. This again. Well, hello, Scorpio. You have the Six of Swords already as your card to help you wrap up this month of August. And you have the Eight of Swords as well. And you have the Seven of Swords. What's going on in here, Scorpio? Wait, why did I say Scorpio? Well, it's Scorpio now. Should have been Libra. We're doing Libra afterwards. Okay, Libra, don't worry. Since obviously I connected with the Scorpio energy. Oh gosh. You're a lot in your mind, Scorpio. you've been a lot in your mind this month, and I see that there's been many stages of the mind that you've gone through. And that these are the highest stages. Like, interesting, you have 6, 7, and 8. So there's definitely a growth in here. And you're starting to make sense of what's really going on. But this is also the time, like this level of growth, where the mind can be very cunning. And it may have you believe sometimes that you are not worthy, or that the growth you're looking for is not achievable, that you are stuck in whatever way, in your old ways, or in your old traumas, or in your old paradigm, which is not exactly truth. That's just because the mind sometimes has troubles conceptualizing. That's the problem. It only wants to conceptualize, and becomes abstract when it comes to the higher emotions, when it comes to the higher calling of coming into service, of coming into alignment with the world outside of ourselves, with the universe, which is coming from a place of love and awareness. That it's kind of strange to the ego mind, But the Eight of Swords does talk about like connecting with the higher emotions, with the emotions of compassion and the loving kindness. And the mind may feel a bit frozen in the moment and not know how to contain all that. But I think the space is being created. So the mind at least understands that there are things that I do not know, and there are things that I know, and there is a willingness there for you to grow into these higher emotions and create space for them, and to operate from this space rather than from protectiveness of the mind and cunningness of the mind. Of course, you may still be challenged with but again, not coming out into rationalization and all kinds of old defense mechanisms that don't really make sense anymore. But this is part of the work to decondition and to notice and observe when these things happening, and always to come from a place of kindness and compassion to ourselves as well, because we are coming from, we do all have a history, we all have a past, we all have a conditioning, we all have trauma that we're working with and learning to heal. So be kind to yourself. And also, it's very important to connect to your body. You're in your mind too much. I think you might have seen that by now. You've noticed that you've been in mind trips the whole month. I want to clarify, what is this about? Just one card, please. Okay, yes, so when we go into like obsessiveness, which feels a bit like it for you, Scorpio, it's because there's loss and some emotional pain that you're trying to avoid. So you're trying to think your way around your pain, and you're trying to distract yourself from the pain. But the pain is to be honored and to be felt and to be released. You can't heal what you can't feel. So allow yourself to feel a bit, Scorpio. I do believe that this process served you well for reasons of observation and growth. But as I said, it's really important to go and give yourself some space to actually feel, to cry, to mourn, to let go, and to grow out of this. Okay, I'm going to take this, another 523. The Star Mother Arrakis. That makes me think of Dune. Arrakis. 23. I'll just read the poem and the guidance. Okay, so the poem says, be the king who has made his own kingdom. Be the moon that has made her own summit. How much longer will you cuckoo like a pigeon? Empty your head of all mortal lusts and become life without breath. You will not call out for God anymore, for you have become immersed in God. Okay, that's big. So what's the guidance here? Okay, this is a bit long, but I'm going to go through it because I think it's necessary. So here's your guidance. Lay down your old weapons, for new technology awaits you. It is the most magnificent of forces, that of divine alignment, of surrender to the Star Mother and her way of luminous potency. From her great vantage point, the vastest problems of our earthly mindsets, these ones, are merely in need for a quick whipping by the tail of a comet, and this she easily achieves by flicking a strand of her hair or poking out her tongue. Yeah, very playful choice of words. In the hands of a greater being, even your deepest trials will succumb to divine victory. Your ability to take the journey will be strengthened, and your success only a matter of passing over time. Can you give yourself this gift, this blessing of the love, power, and protection of your star heritage? We all descend from the stars, but some of us are asked to remember to acknowledge the divine parentage from which we come, and to allow the innate divine dignity within to restore us to faith in the path here on earth. No matter how dark life on earth may seem at times, when we remember our holy heritage, we can also realize, yes, I am blessed, held as one with the Mother who shall not be deterred from great holy purpose. I shall prevail. I forgot that and I feared, but now I remember, and I am determined once more. Then you shall feel joy and be inclined to dance, to sing, to make your art, and to live fearlessly once again. So basically the message, my dear, is to get out of your mind and to remember that this whole idea of that connection with the higher emotions, it's what connects you to the universe. It's what connects you to your soul journey and to the big picture. Allow yourself to be nourished by that knowledge, and you know it deep within yourself. Remember, it's okay. This whatever fears that you're facing and whatever pain you're facing right now, give yourself time to feel and connect to those loving, caring, nurturing part of yourself, whether it's within yourself or if it's the universe or a star, and you're going to be all right, my dear Scorpio. Thank you for being here, and have a smooth transition into the fall, and I'll see you here soon. All right, Libra, going back to you. Sorry for skipping. It is what it is. What do we have for you, my dear Libra? We have the Four of Pentacles. What's been happening with you in August? How do we wrap this month up? Oh. 2 5s here. 5 of Cups and 5 of Swords. And you have the 2 of Wands. Okay. So with the 2 of Wands here as the underlying energy, I think that you find yourself maybe now at the end of the month, or this has been a theme of the month for you, to understand that you have choice. You have some type of choice to make, and it's important for you to not just settle for whatever comes to you first, but to really take your time and feel into what is it that you really want. Try to visualize, be the visionary, holding, your own fate in your hand. Do not succumb to fear of insecurity. Like, you may have faced this, like financial security can be a thing, when we make choices. Do we go for the risky thing, or do we go for whatever proves to be to bring some type of immediate security, so we don't get stuck in fear? But it's good to have financial security, but if it gets you stuck and if it makes you feel like you know, depressed and like you can't really get what you need. You can't really, it makes you lose your vitality and your life force, and it takes you into this place of conflict where you need to always defend yourself and fight and put others down or being put down by others. If it feels like it's a matter of work, or how you're making your money, or how you're what project you want to stay in, or what one project you want to go into. So it's a good reminder that there's gonna be growth. Allow yourself to take some risks. The fives talk about the uncertainty and growth, and you need to go from this four, which yes may be giving you some type of physical security, into a place of emotional and mind growth. Allow yourself to scan around and see what else is out there. And even though it's scary, do not settle, my dear Libra. Let's see what's the oracle message for you from the Rumi oracle. Passion for purpose. Yes, that's it. That's it. Do not just give up. What is it that makes you tick and settle for emotional repression and frustration? Do not settle for that. Let's see, number 2. See, it's another 2. Number 2, my dear. The poem from Rumi says, love like life flows through the heart. Feel the thrill of the flow and say nothing. Rumi. Okay, let's see what's the guidance for you. This oracle comes to you with guidance. You are being initiated more deeply into your life purpose. Your passion will reveal itself to you with more depth, nuance, and beauty than ever before. If parts of your life are disassembling or do not seem to be working out as you had planned, these are symptoms of this passionate revelation. Be curious and open to what presents itself in the wake of the falling away. Be ready of the journey within now. You are strong enough to leave behind the need for external validation, whilst you will learn to validate yourself. In time, soon enough, in fact, you shall reveal your innermost beauty and be witnessed and received, acknowledged for your innate value, purpose, and divinity. But for now, sweet beloved, dive deep, be defiant and determined to honor your heart, so your deep passion may be witnessed by you and eventually, naturally, make its way into sacred expression in the world. If you have recently discovered a new talent or purpose, or have been dreaming some big dreams, this oracle comes to you with guidance and confirmation. You are excited. Follow that excitement. Let it lead you into your own heart's truth and onto an ever more passionate path of purposeful living. Beautiful. I hope that makes sense to you, my dear Libra. I wish you a beautiful transition into the fall season, and I'll see you here soon. Alright, so now we're jumping to Sagittarius. Hello, Sagittarius. Hope you're doing well. Let's see how you're wrapping up the month of August. Page of Swords. One more card, please. My dear Sagittarius, this brings you some insight in hindsight. Okay, we've got 2. You have the 3 of Cups and the Queen of Swords. And bottom of the deck, you have the High Priestess. Okay, so you're obviously in insight mode right now. The High Priestess, I think you're open to receive, you're open to inner guidance, and you're open to awareness that comes beyond the words of in the world of facts and stuff like this. It's more that inner wisdom that comes when you sit in quiet place by yourself, and maybe in meditation, and you connect to your inner self, to your unconscious. It's also making sense of duality, making sense of like, you know, pairs of opposites in your life that had been challenging you and had been forcing you to see the big picture, not to see from one perspective or another, but to zoom out and see both. And that's when insight really happens. That's when growth really happens. That's when we resolve duality and we grow as an organism, as a being. We have the Page of Swords here with the Three of Cups and the Queen of Swords. So I think that you've been working with your communication skills this month. You've been trying out new ways of communicating. You've been allowing your mind to grow slowly and be open to new ideas. And with the Queen of Swords and the Three of Cups here, I think you've been working maybe with groups of people or with friends or with types of relationships, and you've been learning to communicate your emotions, and might have been challenging. You know, emotions are difficult all the time for everyone, for whatever reason, whether they're difficult emotion, they're painful, and we are afraid how they're going to be received, or they're going to be dismissed or invalidated, or if we are coming from a place of hope and love, we're afraid of being rejected or whatever. The Queen of Swords talks about clear communication and stating of boundaries and understanding one's boundaries, and being able to be clear about everything. She tends to be quite cold though, and maybe a little bit harsh. Maybe she's overprotective at times because she's been through everything. So it's a good reminder to look back now at this month and see how you've been communicating. You're still a student here. You're still learning. You probably nailed it quite well. So be proud of yourself, Sagittarius. But at the same time, also see where you can, what's it called? Like, bring a bit more gentleness into the space. Because yes, she's a queen though. She's following the drive of the heart, right? She's all the queens talk about the heart's desire and the heart's need, and how to nurture and care for that. So the mind and the communication skills are supposed to help you stay safe and nurtured and cared for, and create a container for yourself and for the others, and connect with the others from this place of loving awareness. In the end, we are all an organism, and yes, we need boundaries, but it's important also to have fluid boundaries. They don't need to be very rigid. But I think that this is the insight that you're getting this month, at the end of this month, and you're going into this into the fall with a raised awareness around that. So that's fantastic. What do we have here? Let love transform, number 14. That's a 5. Okay, let's see what is the message for you. I'm gonna read the poem from Rumi that says, the spring of love arrives to transform the dust into a garden. The call is heard from the heavens to beat the wings of soul to fly. The sea becomes filled with pearls. The dry land receives the water of life. The stone becomes a ruby and the body becomes all soul. Rumi. Okay, I'm gonna go to the guidance. Okay. So it seems that an avenue of divine fulfillment has been found. You are being given the power for spiritual success. Your heart's yearning shall manifest itself, but you must comply according to the law of love. What does that mean? Do not attach yourself to the form that your resolution and success shall take. Why would we seek to limit love's creative genius? No, instead trust that it will be magnificent perfection, literally the work of a great genius. Detach yourself from expectations of timing. The harvest will be at the best time when the ripeness is just right, so utterly juicy and sweet that you shall know with certainty that this was the best way. Not a moment sooner would have been perfect, nor a moment later. Absolute trust is the best way to adhere to the law of love. This gives you rather some energy to spare, perhaps that may have otherwise been engaged in perpetuating worry or doubt. So, yeah, beautiful. That's the message for you, my dear Sagittarius. Detach yourself from any type of expectations and know that you will be successful. So instead of being maybe overly protective, relax and connect from a place of love. All right, my dear Sagittarius, I hope this makes sense to you. I wish you a smooth passage into the fall, and I'll see you here soon. Hello Capricorn, that was quick. 2 of Cups. So let's see what's going on with Capricorn for... Okay, and the Magician. So we're wrapping up the month of August, right? And we'll see what is it that you've been working with and what's your resolution. I have the Queen of Cups as the underlying energy. So my dear Capricorn, that's this is beautiful energy here. It's very soft, very caring, very loving. The Queen of Cups is about, emotional experience and empathy and connection, and also about taking space and recharging and understanding one's own emotional needs. It's funny because Capricorns tend to be perceived as not very emotional beings, but I think that that's not true. It can be a lot of passion in there that is channeled into something very practical, but that passion comes from a need to build a lot of stability for the parts of yourself that feel very, very vulnerable. So I think that you've maybe had a touch or a taste of some of that vulnerability this month. Maybe somebody like like a partner or like a person that triggered you romantically, whatever way, brought that up and you felt vulnerable, but you also felt like you have the ability to come out from an empowered space without having to deny your vulnerability, if that makes sense to you. You can still be caring and loving with yourself and hold space for yourself and for your vulnerability. And there's so much power in vulnerability, because if we don't feel like we need to be overly harsh, overly aggressive, or we don't have anything to prove to anyone, and we can share of our softness and our pain and our love without expecting anyone to rescue us or to attack us or to do anything. That's very, very powerful, and it's powerful for you because it gives you agency and you understand that you're not a victim. You don't have to move mountains in order to protect a very fragile part of yourself. You can hold space for it and to express it. And it's also inspiring for other people, because when you share that like that, then you're able to come into the world with this softness. It's just inspiring, and we can all relate and learn from that. Beautiful. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's the message for you now from the Rumi Oracle. Passion of the Wild Red Mother. Okay, let's read that up. Number 36. No, I saw you. Where are you? Okay, so the poem from Rumi says, Don't ask the conscious ones about the wine. Behold the glowing effect of it in the eyes of the drunks. Yeah, nice. Let's see what's the guidance for you. So this oracle brings you guidance. You have divine permission to do something ridiculous, be it ridiculous in your own mind, your age or career path, or some identity or version of yourself you or another hold. The more ridiculous or inappropriate it seems, the more it moves you from your heart without rhyme or reason, the better. This is not about hurting people or behaving without moral code. It is not about childish indulgence or questionable justification for letting the ego misbehave. It is not about ego at all. This guidance is about listening to the truth of your heart and allowing your soul to throb with aliveness, making that more important than any restrictions, opinion, judgment, or fear of the mind, yours or that of others could summon. All right, Capricorn, that's really nice. Please go have fun, do something ridiculous, allow yourself to love, be loved, be vulnerable, share. And thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great transition into the fall. Hello, Aquarius. Here's the Tower. So you had quite a month, Aquarius. Oh yes, you did. Okay. So this month of August, Aquarius, you've been shaken up a little bit. The Queen of Wands talks about, like, and it's the underlying energies, what's being groomed, how you grow out of this experience of this month. And I think that you've been pushed to recognize and understand your power, to recognize and understand your to come into empowerment, understand your capacity to influence others and your leadership capabilities, and embrace them rather than trying to dim them down in order to not scare others or push them away. You can be very strong, Aquarius. You have a clear vision, you have a very unique understanding of the world, and you need to embrace that rather than use it as a way to be like, oh my goodness, I'm so different, nobody accepts me, I'm going to go into a corner and not talk to anyone because nobody cares anyway. I don't know if you necessarily operate from that perspective, but it could be, So the Queen of Wands is here to remind you that you're a very powerful leader, that what matters, it's very important for you to come out into individuation and into to express that unique side of yourself. Also, this is a Leo energy, and we had been in Leo season this month of August. We just switched into Virgo. Leo being your opposite sign, we had a full moon in Aquarius and a new moon in Leo, so this could be very triggering for you, but also very, very helpful. You've grown a lot. So we had the Tower and the Three of Swords. With the Tower, it's Uranus energy, it's your energy, my dear Aquarius. I know it's scary, the Tower, but this is how you operate. You are open to insights that come from I don't know, unexpected experiences, and you're able to learn from these experiences, and they may be uncomfortable at times. There might have been some heartache, there might have been some emotions that had to be processed, and may have been forced to process them quite quickly with this Tower here, not given a lot of time to think about it, but you had to really understand that, okay, I can't define myself through this pain, whatever this is, these emotions are coming and they're going, and I can't hold on to them. And this is a very empowering process for you. And You know, these emotions played their role. It was important for you to be triggered in an uncomfortable way in order to recognize your own power. Right, Aquarius, let's see what is the message from the Oracle, this Rumi Oracle. All right, so you have the blessing of Zahra, number 39, which means 3, okay, and yet another 3 here. There's some resolution going on in here. 39, that's at the end, towards the end of the book. Okay, so the poem, gosh, it's a long poem. The poem from Rumi says, let go of thought. Don't take it into your heart. I have to say this, like 3 is the swords energy. 3 is mind energy and swords are mind energy. And you see like these swords penetrating the heart. They're not here to hurt the heart. There's no blood coming out here. It's more about aligning your thoughts to your heart. Okay. So let go of your thoughts. Don't take it into your heart. You are naked and thought is like ice. You use thought to seek release from suffering and pain, while thought is the cause of your suffering and pain. The realm of creation is outside the scope of thought. O foolish one, see the opus and behold the beauty. Look in the direction from which the images flow. See the brook that causes the wheel to turn. That's so wise. That's so wise. And I think that this is whatever it is that you've experienced that kind of forced you to shift, helped you to understand this, that your own mind is trying to protect you, but yet it's just causing more pain. Okay, let's see what is the guidance here that's coming with this card. So this oracle comes with special guidance for you. You are being given a blessing of Zahra, of radiance, of brightness. Well, the Queen of Wands is definitely bright. This blessing has a purpose. It is to clear out that which would obstruct your full unfoldment, to support the divine jewel of your soul in shining. You are being given an opportunity, supported by life, by the earth, by the grace of the divine beloved, to shed toxins from your being. This may be physical, and they may equally be of emotional, psychic, or psychological origin. They may come from this or another lifetime. You may understand consciously what is being released, or you may not. If you're sensitive, you may feel symptoms of detoxification at a physical level, even if what you are releasing is emotional or psychological in nature. The tower is, you see, it's this like lightning bolt that's striking this tower. There's the crown that's round and the tower is square. They don't really fit. It's a construct and it affects you. And you're being forced to release this. This is what's going on with you, my love. If you've been unwell or struggling to let go of an issue, this oracle comes as a portent of imminent healing back to good health and of release of the issue into resolution and divine radiance. It is only a matter of timing, and that timing is imminent. This oracle also brings you the message that if something appears to be living your life, even something painful to release, it is because it is no longer healthy for you or no longer supporting your life for you. There is something more loving and beautiful awaiting. Do not try to feast upon scraps. Stop scraping in the dirt for stale breadcrumbs. Rise up and move forward. The seat and at the heavenly table gleaming before you for a greater feast awaits your attendance. That's really beautiful. So you're definitely letting go of something. You're forced to do so anyway, and you're being told that this is the intention. You're on the right path. All right, Aquarius, I hope this makes sense to you. Thank you for being here, and I wish you the best in this transition into fall. Hope to see you here soon. Yeah. All right, Pisces, hello. Let's see what's going on What's been going on with you this month of August, and how can we wrap this up? The moon. The moon in Tarot, I think it's a Pisces energy, even though I always associate the moon card with Cancer. But anyway, it's there with you guys. Very emotional based, and yeah, well, and the Knight of Cups and the Five of Cups. Okay, it has been a quite emotional month, my dear Pisces. You may have been confronted with your own with mourning. You had to mourn for something that you felt a lack of, or that you lost, and it's something to be let go of, and it's important to mourn, right? It's important to take your time to feel this transition. Otherwise, we've just covered up the pain. We're going into, I mean, it's going to backfire later. And I think that this was a month of letting go of something, of allowing yourself to go through this transition and to feel and to move on to the next step. And with the moon and the Knight of Cups, I think that you've had to face some fears and some confusion this month, and obviously those fears brought in more and more confusion, because we tend to want to dissociate. So you might have been into moments of dissociation and daydreaming, and the Knight of Cups maybe a little bit emotionally needy, or hanging on to dreams and ideals, and again daydreaming. At the same time, I think that this experience had brought to you a lot of emotional awareness, and maybe a certain openness that you can start going into this Knight of Cups energy and offer more of yourself to the world from a more authentic emotional place. I think it's a good transition. It's a great transition. Let's see what's this oracle. What's this for me? I'm tired. All right, the dissolving light. So, yeah, you are being called to open up to some truths that might be a bit uncomfortable, but I think it's really stripping off some layers that you had to let go of. You're letting go of these 3 cups here, and it's number 3. Okay, the dissolving light, the poem from Rumi says, I died as mineral and became a plant. I died as a plant and rose to animal. I died as animal and I became human. Why should I fear anything? When was I ever less by dying? Rumi. Hey, why should I fear anything? When was I ever less by dying? When we lose something, it can feel like a part of us is dying as well, because the part of us that we associate with whatever that was, whether it's a person, whether it's a job or an activity or a project, is just not going to be present anymore. It's not going to be with us. We need to learn to say our goodbyes and to let go. This oracle brings you guidance. Trust in your changing perspective and perceptions. Don't hold on to what you once believed or thought to be true. Allow yourself to be shown another version of events, another way of perceiving. Don't focus on what is not working in your current estimation of things, for that is nothing more than a passing opinion. You are being given an opportunity to see and know yourself, others, and particular life circumstances very differently. Embrace it. Don't resist what is being shown to you, for even if there are some struggles in adjusting your view at first, ultimately this change in perception will free you and bring you more deeply into the wellspring of your own inner peace and happiness. Beautiful, beautiful. It's a really good change of perspective here. Okay, Pisces, I hope this makes sense to you. Thank you for being here, and have a lovely transition into the fall, and I hope to see you back here soon. Thank you all, and have a lovely fall.